Alright, so due to my videos being very slow and very low quality, I am here ready to redo it. Alright, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna create a Flutter project. So I'm going to open up Python, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cd into my desktop and run Flutter create blog app blog underscore app. Now when that's done, alright, so I already have that project up and running. So when you've created that project, what you're gonna do is you're gonna head over into that project in VS Code or Android Studio, depending on what you're gonna use, and you're gonna add the following dependencies. You're gonna add Cloud Firestore, so this is the database we're gonna be using. You're gonna be adding Firebase underscore core. You're gonna be adding Intel, which is a date formatter, and you're gonna be adding touchable opacity. Alright, let's start with the Dart side of setting up our Firebase database. So head over to your main.dart. Make your main function an asynchronous function. We'll get into what those are later. You don't need to worry about it for now. And you just need to run the following line: widgets flutter binding dot ensure initialized. Then the next thing you need to do is you're gonna inside your my app stateless class, you're going to run final future initialize app equals firebase dot initialize app, and then you're going to make your home a future builder. The future is going to be this initialize app, and the builder is going to be the following. If this snapshot has an error, we're just going to show a scaffold with the error. Otherwise, if it's okay, we're going to show our home page, and if it's not, we're going to show a circular progress indicator. Now, so this is the bare bones project structure. So let me run you down through it. So we have a details page. So essentially, this is the screen the user will see when they click on our blog in the home page. And the blog tile is essentially the item that they're going to click in the home page. So let's head over into the home page and let's get started. So I have a very basic app bar here. And now let's get started with the actual coding. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a reference to my blog collection. Wait, before that we actually need to set it up with Firebase. Right, my bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over into our browser, and you're going to head over into your project overview. Click on add app, select iOS. It's going to ask you for your iOS bundle ID, and how to get that, you're just going to head over into Xcode. It'll take a bit of time to open, and then you're going to open up its XC workspace. So you're going to, let me show you right now. So you're going to head over into iOS, and you're going to open up runner.xc workspace. Now this will be a file on your Finder, so you're going to open that up. Then when you've opened that, you're going to head over and copy this com.example.blog app and paste it in here. Oops, let me copy it. There we go. Right, so I already have an app with that bundle ID, but for now I'll just call this dummy app because I'm trying to show you guys how to set it up. Then the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna download the Google Services info.plist file right here. Now, when you've got that downloaded, you're going to head over into Xcode, right-click on this runner folder, press Add Files to Runner. When you press that, you're going to head over into your downloads, and you're going to find that Google Service info.plist. You're going to select it, and you're going to add it. And when you have it, what you're going to do next, you can quit Xcode after that. You're going to head over to your pod file, so iOS pod file, and you're just going to set the platform to 10. Now let's work on setting it up with Android Studio. With an Android app. So let me actually just remove that dummy app right there that I had. Let me just delete it. It's this app. Alright, it's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Add App, and I'm going to click on this Android. So now we're going to be needing this Android package name. Now what is the Android package name? head over into your Android folder, head over into your, I do believe it's app build.gradle. Right, so com.example.blog_app. So that's what I've named it. So you're going to head over to your Android folder, head over into app, and then select build.gradle. Now you're going to paste it in there. You can give it a nickname to be an Android blog_app. And now just what to do, we need to get our SHA1 key. Now it's not necessary, but I think I would recommend doing this. So you're going to click on see this page, and I do believe it is this. Right, so you're just going to copy that, and you're going to head over into your terminal and cd out of this, cd out of that. I'm just going to copy that, and you're going to paste it in here. And I do believe it was by default, I have reason to believe that by default it is Android. By default it's Android, my bad. Android. Right, so you can go ahead and copy your SHA1 key, and do not copy mine. Just do not copy mine. And now you're just going to paste it in there. You're going to register your app. This may take a second. Now you're going to download Google Services.json. And I'm going to click on download. I'll save it to my desktop file right here. Desktop. Right there, and I'm going to Google Services. And now you're just going to add that to your Android folder. I think, right, you're just going to add it here. You know, I do believe it is. Right, so you can just drag it in here. And put it in your Android folder. Jeez, this takes a bit of. There you go. So you're gonna add Google Services.json, and you can just skip. And I mean, sorry, my bad. You need to actually head over into your build.gradle. So this one, not the one inside your app. And now you're gonna copy this line here, and you're gonna paste it in dependencies. And then you just need to ensure that you have Google's Maven repository installed. So just copy that right there. Head over into all projects repositories, but we already have that there. Now inside your app levels, you're gonna click on this app build.gradle right here. Sorry, my bad. App src main. Oh no, sorry, it's just it's just the build.gradle. You're just gonna have to add this line: apply plugin com.google blah 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 blah. So I do believe it right here. You can just paste that in there, and we need to import Firebase from BOM. So we add that in our dependencies. So yes, right there. So we click here and we just add it there. And we also need to add Firebase Analytics. I do believe. Actually, no, I don't think we have to add Firebase Analytics right there. And then you can just hit next, and then you can click continue to console. So now we've got our Android and iOS apps set up. Let's get started with the coding. Before that, let's head over into cloud.firestore. And for you, it's not going to be showing what I'm seeing. You're just going to have to click on get started and select production mode. When you select production mode, just hit next, and then ignore that step, the location bucket step, and just hit next, and then you will be met with this type of screen. Now you won't have this, but I will show you how to do this. So, but the first thing before you do that, you head over into rules, and for you by default, let it load. Yeah, for you by default, this true will be false. So you just need to change it to true. so that your Flutter app can read the data. Now heading back over into data, so I have a collection that I've created manually called blogs. So I'm going to click create selection blogs. Right, so when you hit next, you will be met with this screen, add a document on parent path blogs. So you're going to give it an automatic ID, give it a title, and give it whatever title you want. Just whatever you want. Let me just give it a constructive title, hello, and you'll add a media URL. And so this will be the background image, and I do believe I have chosen this, or if I already have another one, so I'm just going to hit open image in a new tab, that. And you can add that. Then you're going to need the content, and then here you can say content cool, whatever. And then you're going to click, and you're going to change it, this one's type to a timestamp, and you're going to say whatever you want here. You can say as or no, my bad, you can call this published at. You have to call this published at. And now in our date, you can just select today, and you can put the time to be whatever you'd like, so 5:30 right now. So then you're gonna click save, and now you're gonna see something like this. Now I've already made something. I've already added this when I was filming the previous lower quality version. But now that we have all of this set up, it's time to start actually coding. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to head over into the home page, and I'm going to get a reference to this blogs. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to say final collection reference, and we're going to call this blogs ref, and we set that to Firebase, Firebase firestore.instance.collection blogs.get. Oops, my bad, you can just remove the get. So now we have access to our blogs, collection. Now in the body, we're gonna add a stream view. Now essentially what the stream view allows us, stream builder, my bad. What a stream builder allows you to do is it allows you to get real-time data and update the UI based on it. So we're gonna set its stream to be our blogs ref.snapshots. And then we're gonna say body. We're gonna say builder actually. This is gonna take in a context, and it's gonna take an async snapshot that takes in a query snapshot, and we're gonna call this snapshot. Now, first things first, we're just gonna say if, let me close my terminal off. If snapshot dot has error, you can just print error. Else if snapshot dot has data, so if everything is fine, what we're going to do is we're going to say the following. We're going to say return list view, and its children will be blogs ref dot I do believe it is the blogs ref dot docs, blog ref dot data. No, my bad. It's snapshot.data, and you're gonna do a dot docs. And now we're just gonna say dot map, and here we're gonna say text, and here we'll just pass in title. So essentially what this is doing is it's getting our document, and from the document it's getting the title, so title a blog. And now we can just turn this into a list by doing .toList. Oops, my bad. .toList. There we go. Capture the data. Right, so what we're gonna do is we have to add an exclamation mark here to ensure that because Firebase now supports null safety. Now there's an error, right, because otherwise, if none of this happens, we're just going to return a center widget. This is going to have a circular progress indicator right there. So that is all well and good. Let's run the app and see if it's working. Alright, so my project is back, and it took a bit of time, but as you can see, we have our data fetched. Now let's create a widget, a separate widget to work to make it look better per se. So these are just a bunch of constructor items that this blog tile will use. It'll get the title, it'll get the content, so it can turn it into a description type of thing. It will get the media URL for the background image, it'll get the published at so it can display it, and it'll get an on tap function. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a touchable opacity. Now this is part of the touchable opacity dependency that we imported, and it's up to you if you don't want to use it. You could just use a gesture detector if you don't want that opacity change when you click, but I kind of like it, so I'm going to use it. Now the child will be a container, and first it will have a width of about media query.offContext.size.width multiply by 0.95, which means it's going to take 95% of the screen. This means it's going to gets the width of the screen that the person is using, and multiplying it by 0 point a number changes it to a percentage of. Now we're going to have a decoration. It's going to be a box decoration, and first things first, I'm just going to give this a border radius. And this is going to be border radius dot circular. I'll give it 5. Then we're going to have an image, which is going to be a decoration image, and I'm going to give this a color filter. Color filter dot sRGB to linear gamma just darkens the images a bit, gives it. And now I'm just going to give it an image to be network image, and this is going to be media URL. But the thing is, I need a little comma there. Oops. Media URL. There we go. Now we can give this a child. Give this container a child of a column, and its children are going to be a text widget. Actually, we'll give it a padding widget, and its child will be a text. And this text is going to be the title, and we're going to give it some styling. So its style will be text style colors dot white, and its font weight dot bold, and its weight font weight dot bold. And what else are we going to give it? We're going to give it a font size of about 30, and we actually need to give it a padding, because padding we just require padding. So padding edge inzets dot only, left 10 and top 10. So essentially this will space it out, so bottom 10. So essentially what this is going to do is that it's going to give some space between the left side of the image and the right. And right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the home page and replace this text with the blog tile, and the title will be title, content will be content, the media URL will be media URL, published at will be published at, and the on tap will be a function. It'll be a simple function where I'll just say print hello. Now what error is it showing me? Argument iterable block type cannot be passed. Let's remove one of those. There we go. So that's fixed. Now let me see. We can see it there, but it's being weird. Now why is it being weird? And right, we need to give this an actual height, which is going to be 250. Now it should be decent. There we go. First things first, we're going to set the column's main axis alignment, and the column allows you to stack widgets above each other. So that means its main axis alignment will be the y axis, so up and down. So we're going to do main axis alignment dot center, and its cross axis alignment, which is left to right, cross axis alignment dot start. Now if I resave that, you can see it moves there, but it's looking a bit weird. So why is that? Right, give me a second. So I think I need to remove this and just give it some margin, I believe. Wait, no. Right, we need to give this decoration image a width, I believe. Right, no, sorry. We need to give this a fit box fit dot cover, which essentially means that it's going to cover the entire space. But I'm just going to give it some margin edge insets dot symmetric. Now, edge insets is essentially a class that gives you access to a bunch of padding functions. So symmetric allows you to give padding on either the horizontal or vertical axis. So I'm going to give it some horizontal padding to be at 10. There we go. And maybe edge insets are only actually, and the left and right will be 10, and the top will be also 10. So now you can see it looks much better, and we have that image that I had gotten. Now what else I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to add another thing. Now this, I need to give it a comma right there. This is going to be the published at. So the text will be the... Now this is where we use the package I told you guys about, Intel. So we're going to do date format dot ymed dot format, and we're gonna add published at dot to date dot to string, and then we're gonna convert published at to date. There we go. And now we can just remove its font weight. Actually, I'll just give it a font weight of 200 W200, my bad. So this will give it a lighter font weight, and its font size to be about 18. I'll save that. You can see Friday, June 11, 2021 in very light, I think I should just increase it to like 500 maybe. That's about medium. There we go, so that looks fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to again, going to copy this padding. Let's just remove some of its space. There we go. I'm going to copy and paste it again. This time with the content. So the content, and now we're gonna have this because we need to give it a description type field. So we don't want to show the entire thing. We just need to show like a synopsis. So we're just gonna show its max lines equals, max lines equals 2, and its overflow. So if this content was to go off the screen, we would just show a bunch of dots, right? To do that, you do text overflow dot ellipses, and then the style will be that. There we go. So now if I save that, you can see here some content, blah 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 blah, but it's very large, so I'm just going to change it to 24, I think. Move its font weight, and there we go. So everything looks fine to me. Right, so now we need to work on the... First, let's give this touchable opacity the on tap, and now we're going to give this an anonymous function, and inside we're just going to do on tap. Now remember, on tap is what we're passing in here. Now I have a details page, and now this detail page takes the ID, it takes the timestamp that when it was published, it takes the content, it takes the media URL, and it takes the title. Now what are we going to do? Well, in the home page where we actually need to pass that on tap function, instead of just printing hello, what we're going to do is we're going to navigate to the details page. So we're going to say navigator.push, and now we're going to change its route to material page route, and its builder CTX, because the builder function takes in a context, and we're going to navigate to the details screen. And obviously we need to pass in this title, media URL, e content, e published at, and the ID. Now we don't actually pass in an ID, do we? We don't pass in an ID inside this. There's no ID. I cannot see anything. Which ID we want to get is this, the name of this document, the ID of this document. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say ID equals e.id. So the document's given ID. Right, so now in the home page, I'm just gonna give it an app bar, title, text, and details. And in the body, I'm just gonna give it a text, and here we just pass in widget. Now because this is a stateful widget, I cannot just say ID here. I can't just say ID, because it's gonna say ID does not exist. ID lives in this section, not where we are currently. So to get a value that you're passing into a stateful widget, you're gonna have to do widget.id. Now if I were to save that and click on this, oops, what have I done? Navigator.push, context, material page route, context. Alright, let's click on it. Right, my bad. Wait. Head over into the blog tile. Right, so we need to just put in that. Now it should work. There we go. So you can see the ID. So N8ZE. So we're successfully getting the document ID. Now in the details page, the body is actually going to be a list view. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the following. We're going to just give it a bunch of children. And the first thing we want them to see is a container. What we could do is we could just copy it from the blog tile. We could just copy this container. We could just grab its thing. We could just, right, no, my bad. In the details page, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a container. Image.network media URL. Widget.media URL, my bad. Widget.media URL. Now we're gonna wrap this in a container. And now in this we can provide some styling. So it's width media query.off context size.width multiplied by 0.95. And what else are we gonna give it? We're gonna give it a height of 250. Now if I save that, you can see it's there, but let's give it some margin, and let's make sure this image covers the entire space. So fits box fit.cover. There we go. So now let's just give it some margin. Edge insets.symmetric, and I think it's going to be vertical, and I'll give it 10. Let me enable soft wrap, word wrap, my bad, and I think vertical and horizontal will also give 10 as well. There we go. Now let's give it some decoration. So decoration, box decoration, and here we'll give it a border radius dot circular 10 or 5. Let's see. Right, so it's not updating the border radius here. Now why is that? Right, we're gonna actually just remove this decoration entirely, and we're going to wrap this image.network in a clip rrect. And now we can provide a border radius to about border radius dot circular. I'll go with 5 this time, and its child will be the image. Sorry if this is getting a bit confusing. Border radius dot circular 5. Now what am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong? Right, I think I have to remove one. There we go. Now it should, yes, it's got that border radius, so that's all well and good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a padding. Edge insets all. So this will provide padding from all sides, and I'll give it 10. And its child will be text title, and we can copy the title style. Oops, it's widget.title. title, and we can copy this title style here. Title, we'll just copy that from here and just paste it in the details page there. But one thing is that the color should be black because we have a white background. Oops, so I messed up a bunch of, there we go, now that should work. There we go, so we have a blog. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna give it, again, we could just copy this here, we could just copy that, head over to the details page, paste it, import the following packages. We import Intel, and the child will be widget.publish.today. And it's white, but I'm just gonna make it black. So we see Friday, June 11, 2021, and now we can just copy it again, or we could just head over here and copy it. There's a lot of copy pasting and it's very inefficient, but for this project, for the sake of simplicity, I'm just gonna go with it. Widget.content. And it's, again, I'm gonna make it black. And here I'm going to reduce, I'm just gonna give it none of that. And it's gonna give it some padding on the right to be about 10, and its font size I'm gonna reduce to 15. Right, so here's some content, but here's some content. Right, cool. So now we've got a very simple details page. So in the next video, we'll be implementing some comment functionality, and we'll also be implementing a way to write HTML into the Firebase and make the details page look better. The video will not be out for a little bit, so just hang on. See you.